Listen here, Trump supporters. I'm hearing more and more rumors of you guys coming after us. Do it. Come on, bring it. That's all I got to say.
Oh, so things just got worse for Jimmy Kimmel. I guess you all probably already heard the news that because of the fact he told a blatant lie about the Charlie Kirk assassination, that it was done by a MAGA dude, that was enough to tip the scale. And so there was an immediate firing. We kind of saw this coming anyways. I have a feeling this is probably a way for them, the news organization or the propaganda network who has employed Jimmy Kimmel to maybe possibly not have to pay out so much of a contract payment, being the fact that they're in his tenure a little bit sooner so he could take it to court. Like, yeah, you owe me a bunch of money. Well, no. You effed up and found out. And this also could be an indicator that this Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, Charlie Kirk Act that they're trying to bring forth right now, that Trump did tweet about in his Truth Social meeting, that he has got this, it's in his ear now. Could be like their last ditch effort to be like, look. Okay, all right, yeah, I know, we got out of hand there. It's getting a little bit crazy, so we're going to clean up our act for a little while. Maybe this is their way of trying to shut down the next possible push towards cleaning up media. And I just dropped a video earlier today about this Smith-Mundt Act modernization. I've talked about it in other videos, but if you go back to the last video today, earlier I dropped it, and it's a really good presentation on the dangers of what happened when Obama modified the Smith-Mundt Act and made it where Congress can pretty much, just the government has a stronghold over the people through all forms of media, radio, television, and all that stuff. And when you see late night shows and just television shows, every single one of them hammering home some kind of agenda, that's not an accident. This is not just what culture wants. This is what they're trying to feed you, to engineer you, because not to mention just the fact that mental health is in a serious decline for many reasons. You can laugh at me when I say, but I think this is legitimate, whenever they screwed with people's DNA through CRISPR technology and some kind of rolled out Fauci jab. I've watched mental health just hit the pot. I mean, it's weird to me. Strange events. And so, I haven't been able to put all the pieces together yet, but maybe you can start watching and you can see it too. But, and as I talk to you, I'm just going to read a little bit from an article about how the radical left propaganda machine took a massive hit this week. Jimmy Kimmel's show on yanked from the airwaves following his despicable lies about assassination of conservative icon Charlie Kirk. And what they're going to do now is, and the reason why I say it just got worse, is because in his time slot, they're going to air a vigil to Charlie Kirk. And so that's sort of a slap in the face. And that, like I say, this is... Do you think that the people who employed that employed Jimmy Kimmel, feel this way? Probably not. I think that they actually see how the public responds, and they're just trying to cater to that at the moment, because there is a newfound resurgence in understanding what happened in 2012 with the Smith-Mundt Act that was modernized in favor of government agendas. That means all media, not just news. I keep saying that. I got to hammer that home, because you say, well, you repeat yourself. I'm sorry. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to really understand the implications and how dangerous it is whenever you're inundated every day with that kind of stuff. But Kimmel is definitely going to find himself in a you have to learn the code. He's going to have to learn the code. But they're going to, during this night's monologue, Kimmel told the dwindling audience that Kirk was unalived by a MAGA conservative. I'm just reading from this article here, and it's just a flat-out lie. That is, you can't, I guess they just are so used to just telling you these things. And it says here, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr immediately slammed Kimmel and threatened action against ABC and Disney. By the way, Disney is probably the most dangerous organizations alongside of that, because not only are they producing all these television shows, but they have a whole place you can go to. If the television shows and movies haven't messed your children up enough yet, take them to Disney World. Just go ahead, do that. See how that goes for you. And then on top of that, by the way, I'm going to go way off into some serious crazy stuff here, and you can like it or lump it, but there was a thing the government did way back in the day called Operation Sea Spray, where they sprayed bacteria on people. You can Google it, you can Wikipedia it. It's a real thing, and I did a big presentation on that because people need to understand just how dangerous of a situation that we can be in when we put the power in other people's hands of our lives. Go to Disney World. That's almost pretty much a Fed CI operation to engineer society. And go into the open air where all these little things are and spray nozzles. I'm not saying that's happening, but the way that Disney's agenda is and what they openly tell you about what they want to do to your children, what would they do to you? I'm just saying. I am just saying. I know this sounds crazy, but they were actually, before they did the Operation Sea Spray, the lead up to that was buildings that were set up with these. I know that I'm going way off, but I'm just letting you know how dangerous we are, where we're at, and the efforts that far beyond what globalists want for society. But back to the article at hand, and you can actually, if you think I'm telling you a lie, you just do a little Googling of what I just told you, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's public record, declassified information. Reports indicate that Kimmel 57 is absolutely livid about being yanked off the air. Well, what have we been going through forever? And so, according to producers, he spoke with Daily Mail. Kimmel has been raging behind the scenes. Ooh, a lip-wristed lefty raging. He's like swinging his hands like real intimidating that is. And it says, in a stunning move that will no doubt infuriate Kimmel further, Sinclair Broadcasting Group, the largest owner of the stations that are affiliated with Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC, and others, announced it will air a special tribute to Charlie Kirk during the Kimmel live time slot. So in other words, this is them doubling down on why we did that, why the network did that. And, you can honestly say, well, we're just trying to make a change, guys. I'm glad that they're doing that. But unless it's codified, unless we get the Smith-Muntz Act repealed, the Modernization Act repealed, to where we've got protections so far as mainstream media that's got syndicated television shows and production networks, just like the Obamas. I forgot to mention that earlier. The Obamas, they got a production company that does music and television shows and movies, and they're co-owned, but they own like 80% of it, or a large percentage of it. I don't know the exact number, but the Obamas own a large percentage of this production company, and They are in cahoots with producing movies where they openly tell people not to trust white people in case something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, my mom always told me to stay away from white people. Like if the government, like if the internet went down and power went down, it was a movie. This is a movie. I don't know the name of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm just thinking, off the cuff here, but it is real because I watched some of the trailers, and one of them was this little girl speaking to her dad in the bed because her mom had been no longer with us anymore, and the daughter goes, "Yeah, Dad, my mom always told me to not trust white people." And I'm like, well, there would be no Harriet Tubman if it wasn't for some white people that helped her out. I'm just saying, not all white people are bad, not all white people are good. Same thing goes for the other side of the aisle. Oh, that's a weird thing. So I want to show you some, I think I got something here. There's a video of Pritzker, and then we'll wrap things up. But Pritzker calling all these people Nazis, and then he goes, "I ain't say that." And they're like, "Well, sir, just like you ain't ate a potato chip." On a terminology called stochastic terrorism, where you use words in a way to where you dance around the subject and you infuriate a side that would be willing to do the bidding for you, because these politicians aren't going to get out there and actually do what they say they want other people to do. When you hear the term, we've got to really get out there on the streets. It's time for controlled violence. They say that a good time for bad behavior. All this stuff. It's like who was listening to David Allen Coe? Did somebody just do that? Anyhow, Pritzker's going to say a few words here, and he's going to dance around it. It's like I say, terminology, stochastic terrorism. Remember that word. I'm gonna explain something else.
That is completely false. I have never called Republicans Nazis.
Everything that he has done has been tearing down constitutional democracy. And that's what happened in Nazi Germany. It doesn't take very long to tear apart a constitutional republic. Indeed, the Nazis did it in 53 days. And our democracy is almost as fragile. And we're seeing it right now. The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany, especially in the earliest days of Nazi Germany, are the dangers that we need to react to now. If we don't, things will get much, much worse. And so we've got to raise alarm bells to everybody. It's a 5-alarm fire, everyone.
Yeah. Yep. All these words, like I said, are what are used to, by the way, when you're programmed, this is something that even goes in, you've already went into the weeds of the Operation Sea Spray, government operations and all that stuff, so we can go into a little bit more. I think if you made it this far, you're doing good. So if people have been pre-programmed through the facilitation of Mockingbird Media, whatever terminology you want to use for weaponized media that's mainstream and it's all around us, music, television, commercials, radio, and you've programmed these people, then all you need to do, and this is something that's been proven in a lot of studies when it comes to behavioral modification. We'll just call it that instead of MK Ultra. Fine, you want to use the medical term for it, behavioral modification or behavioral studies, however you want to look at it. By programming these people and using keywords tends to trigger the program. Just like if you're on your computer and you want to look up something on your thing, if you poke in the wrong words, it doesn't come up. But if you hit the right keywords, boop, all of a sudden you've got your little thing running across your screen. Well, that's very similar to how the human mind works. It's a computer. It is the ultimate form of intelligence, not artificial, but autonomous. And once you've harnessed some of the human habits and then medicated the world with some kind of stuff that's, lithium, Depakote, Prozac, Xanax, Clonopins, methamphetamine, methadone, Percocets, all this stuff. You mix all that up and you screw everything up and you understand the combinations at hand, then yeah, you can use stochastic terroristic words and you can just have your way with people. And it's sad to say, but true. I mean, that's now another thing that I want to talk about is recently Trump they have I don't know if it's officially classified into the archives of the FBI, just like they said that conservatives were like, Christian conservatives and traditional Catholics are, and I think I know why they went after traditional Catholics, are considered a domestic terrorist group. They said that the FBI actually has labeled it that, at some point. I don't know if they've lived to that, but the Antifa people are now in that box. But see, the difference is you're going to have the media come out and go, no, how dare him? It's just a grassroots thing for civil rights. He's attacking people's civil rights. And no, not at all. We haven't seen any prosecutions from the Doge findings yet, but has there been a benefit to understanding where money's going? As that operation still continues at a smaller scale, at a slow go pace, they're starting to unravel some of the money that's moving around. And money, by the way, is fake, but people love it. They love that fake stuff. Well, we are at this point now where it says President Trump on Wednesday even announced that he has designated Antifa a major terrorist organization. He says, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance to the highest legal standards. Pam Bondi, that's good luck. Yeah, you can invest. I've got all this information on my desk ready to review, as Pam Bondi would say. All right, so it says, thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump settles. I'm reading this thing off of Truth Social right quick, just kind of giving you an idea. But the thing is the FBI hasn't, got involved yet. They haven't came out to the give a congressional hearing saying, yep. We got it, but it says President Trump told reporters that 100% willing to designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization in the wake of trial, because whether Antifa had anything to do with it or not, it's going to, this is a good idea because you can actually even me as an independent content creator that has limited resources can follow a money trail and people that are involved. And what happened with BLM needs to be put in the same box. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I'll say it. But all BLM did was just money launder. That was it. And yeah, that and then Patrice Cullors bought a bunch of houses in gated white neighborhoods while telling you that she hates white people. But she ain't living in no Detroit. I'm telling you that right now. She got her a Martha's Vineyard house. She's right next to Obama. By the way, that for some reason climate change has not consumed any of those beachfront houses at all. People, as a matter of fact, they're adding on to them right now. They're building a billiard room, connecting the two with tunnels, and they have a submarine, and it loops back around to Oprah's house. But anyways, all right, so take it easy and just kind of getting the word out there. This is where we're at. Big win for America, but we've still got a long ways to go. And like I say, today at 6:30, when I get home off of work, Matt and I are going to do a live, and we're going to just discuss what we know so far is going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination and the truths that are not being told. Thank you, guys. Peace out.